Dozens of Russian tanks blow up after past the anti-tank mines planted by the Ukrainian army. The driver appeared to miss clear warning signs as the military vehicle stormed straight towards 2 rows of anti-tank mines planted along the road. A Russian soldier appeared to have a lucky escape after driving a Kremlin military vehicle straight over a row of anti-tank mines planted in Ukraine. Unverified video footage which has emerged across social media captured the moment the mine exploded, visibly lifting the Russian tracked vehicle off the ground with the power of the blast. Just moments later, a young man in military uniform, presumably the driver of the vehicle, can be seen crouched humbly next to the remains of his equipment. The aerial footage was likely filmed using a loitering drone model fitted with surveillance capabilities. The video captured the moment the vehicle veered towards the road out of a field and turned to face at least 11 mines that had been planted along the road surface. As soon as the armored vehicle makes contact with one of the devices, a horrific explosion engulfs the equipment, lifting it off the tarmac and sending shrapnel flying in all directions. Moments later, a soldier is filmed crouched on the ground near the wreckage in apparent disbelief at the incident. The vehicle involved has been identified as a Russian MTLB, a form of tracked armored fighting vehicle which is commonly used for transporting troops and towing larger artillery equipment. The model was developed in the Soviet era and more modern adaptations have since been established, although the MTLB has been extensively used by Moscow's forces in Ukraine. Independent conflict analyst Oryx has reported the Kremlin has suffered a confirmed loss of at least 281 MTLB models in Ukraine since the conflict began, as verified through photographic evidence. Ukrainian authorities claim to have destroyed or captured well over 5,000 armored combat vehicles like the Russian MTLB throughout the war so far. It is unclear why the Russian driver of the vehicle remained oblivious to the mines planted along the path as they appear clearly visible on the road surface. UA Weapons posted the video alongside the caption, "A Russian MTLB driver, apparently with very limited vision, drove into a row of TM-62 anti-tank mines." The result was expected. The TM-62 anti-tank mine is another piece of equipment developed in the Soviet era which was used extensively by Ukrainian forces in the early months of the war in a bid to stop Russian troops advancing. Moscow's forces are now reported to be on the back foot after Kyiv launched a counteroffensive operation to reclaim Ukrainian territory, successfully liberating thousands of kilometers from Russian occupiers. While it is noted that the Ukrainian forces have destroyed substantial amounts of Kremlin military equipment in the war, retreating Russians have also abandoned huge stockpiles to the defending forces. The abandoned equipment now makes up a substantial portion of Ukraine's military power, with roughly half of Kyiv's tank fleet now composed of captured Russian vehicles. The UK Ministry of Defence confirmed, repurposed captured Russian equipment now makes up a large proportion of Ukraine's military hardware. An intelligence report added, the failure of Russian crews to destroy intact equipment before withdrawing or surrendering highlights their poor state of training and low levels of battle discipline. Meanwhile, throughout the day, the enemy had 3 combat engagements with Ukraine's forces. An attempt of an assault towards Zelenyai High Ternovai Padi by a motorized rifle platoon with the mortar, tank and IFV support was repelled, so the enemy was forced to retreat, having suffered losses. An effort by the sabotage and reconnaissance group and the attack on Ukrainian positions by another motorized rifle platoon supported by a tank and IFV were also unsuccessful. The Russians retreated, having sustained major casualties. Russian MLR systems, barrel artillery, and mortars inflicted fire damage along the line of combat, on territorial communities nearby, as well as on rear areas, settlements, and critical infrastructure targets. In order to locate the position of the Ukrainian troops and spot artillery fire, the enemy continued to actively employ unmanned aerial vehicles. During the day, 6 reconnaissance type Orlan 10s and a Mohajer 6 were downed in the Berislav and Mykolaiv districts. The enemy continued to terrorize the southern regions by launching kamikaze drones. After daytime attacks on Mykolaiv region, 3 Shahed-136 targeted Odessa region in the afternoon. All were shot down by Ukraine's air defense. During the day, the Nikopol district was once again shelled by MLR systems. Damage was inflicted to a number of buildings across 2 territorial communities, but no casualties were reported.
Выстрел!
Выстрел!